I just recently downloaded the 25th anniversary edition of Phantom of the Opera from Royal Albert Hall, and I've been listening to it for the past half hour, and I am caught in the feels badly. Speaking of musicals, today I thought I would review Hold Me Closer, the Tiny Cooper story by David Levithan. And this is a book that just came out in March. I had heard rumors about this coming out, and I had no idea it was coming this quickly, but this is quite literally just a musical in novel form in hardback. This is a companion to Will Grayson by John Green and David Levithan, if you read that one. This is all about Tiny Cooper, and this is the actual play that he performs in the book, I believe. I feel like first and foremost I need to give you a little bit of explanation about Tiny Cooper, so I'm going to quote John Green and tell you, Tiny Cooper is not the world's gayest person, and he is not the world's largest person, but I believe he may be the world's largest person who is really, really gay, and also the world's gayest person who is really, really large. I think that encompasses everything you need to know about Tiny Cooper. He is loud, he is big, he is gay, he is awesome, especially for a musical. His entire character is just loudness and positivity, and I love him as a character in Will Grayson, so when I found out this was happening, I needed it. This book is quite literally written like a script format, so it took me a very short time to read. I would say less than 3 hours, probably not even 2 hours. I got this and read this in the same day because I was so excited, and the cover keeps glaring at my window, but it's so shiny, it's so pretty. I just showed you the underside, it's so cool. So you could definitely watch this review if you haven't read Will Grayson, but just know it's about a character from that book that you get to see a lot in that book, so this is kind of a sequel, and as far as reading it as a standalone, I think you would need to read Will Grayson first, just so you have that backstory, just so you know his friends and who he's from, because this book deals a lot with him talking about all his past ex-boyfriends, and the most recent is the person spotlighted in Will Grayson. So just like, read the original one because it'll make so much more sense and you'll connect to it so much more. So first and foremost, I feel like I should mention that this book, like I've said at least 4 times by now, is musical. It's in a script format, and though I enjoyed that, and I think that's what makes this book really unique and really quick, sometimes it was a little bit awkward reading from like the musical point of view because it was all songs and rhyming and repeating phrases and choruses. I think it's just hard to place sometimes because it's musical, and so since you don't have the harmony or the tune it goes to, you're just kind of reading lyrics awkwardly. It feels like it needs to be sung, but it's in text format, and I think that's what makes it a little bit awkward. It's like you're reading the lyrics to a song you've never heard, and the lyrics are pretty, sure, but you don't know how they're sung. So that part of the book is just hard to get past. Once you get past that, it does have a really awesome message because a lot of these stage directions are actually very narrative. So it's not just textual script dialogue the entire book. There are several chunks and pages of stage directions, but it has a lot of explanation in those of things happening and emotions, and so you do get a bit of that actual narrative. This is what this is what that is, and it's not as singy-song rhyming. So if you don't like how it's just breaking into song all the time, then it's a good half-half mix of talking versus singing. David Levithan, especially with this character, is just hilarious. I did mark a couple of things that I thought were funny. I'm gonna actually read this quote to you because I had to stop and I laughed out loud so hard. But basically this is whenever Tiny is in Little League Baseball. He's doing a dance number about his entire baseball team and how they were bullying him there, and then they break out into this dance. But it says in the stage directions, this should be the most homoerotically charged baseball dance number since I Don't Dance in High School Musical 2. And I laughed so hard at that. And that's just one example of how awesome this book is. It is hilarious because Tiny is just a ball of fun and sarcasm, a little bit inappropriate sometimes, but hilarious nonetheless. Aside from the humor and how much I love Tiny, it actually is a really great book because it does have a lot of good morals. This one is very versatile. There's like several issues it speaks on. Obviously Tiny is gay and it deals a bunch about not really accepting himself, but kind of having to fit in with other people due to that, because he does play sports. But also it deals with like body positivity things, and I think that was really lovely because this one is not down in the dumps about that topic at all. It's definitely very uplifting and confident about the subject of body positivity. And it deals, like I've said several times, with relationships. So I think it just has very great advice about relationships, that you are not a half a person waiting to find their other half. You're a whole person, and you'll always be a whole person, and you don't need someone else. And it just talks about a bunch of those different ideas that go along with relationships, and that's the entire moral of the play, basically. Or, sorry, musical. I just think this is a great book. It's not a book, it's a musical. I would say if you read Will Grayson, Will Grayson and you loved Tiny, it's definitely a very short read, even if you just want to get it from the library. It's very entertaining and very different. If you like this whole script format, it's definitely easy, fun, hilarious, like I've said 1,000 times. If you're a diehard fan of Levithan, if you're a diehard fan of David Levithan like I am, I would definitely recommend this to you. It's very, very awesome. And overall, I gave this book 4 stars. I thought it was a great, they're calling this a companion, and I think it is a great companion. I think if you read Will Grayson, you might as well go ahead and grab this one. And with all that being said, thank you for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye.